No.
I love it.
So my heart with inviting you, Misty, is to have you just share a little bit about how the Corona quarantine has impacted not only the institution of Simpson University, but also your personal life and your family. So I want to go there as well. But really the purpose of our interview today is to just speak encouragement to the people that are our neighbors and our brothers and our sisters and our coworkers and just all the people around that are feeling like we're watching the news, we're hearing bad news. We are also hearing good news, and we're hearing a mix of like, where do we go with this? How do we keep our own hearts encouraged, and where can we together find the encouragement going on within our community? So first question I have for Misty. So Misty is the Dean of the Nursing Program at Simpson University. And I want you to share, Misty, if you would, just how you feel like the Corona quarantine has specifically impacted Simpson. And then as well, if you have any encouraging stories that you've seen along the way in these last couple of weeks, have you seen, the Simpson community pull together, or you've seen different things that you feel like, okay, we can get through this. We've got this. So if you could share, that would be fantastic.
Definitely. So Simpson University has definitely had a unique month as we have transitioned from different mandates from the government, from regulatory agencies, and trying to move forward using discernment and faith as we've taken this walk to keep our students safe, but continue to progress them with their goals, their professional goals. Some of the things I've seen that have emerged in this time would be our professors who've been willing to step up and have our students engage at the public health level to help with triaging phone calls and helping community members that have been in need. And it's not only been a very beneficial transition with our educational process for those students for their own growth in their education, but also meeting community needs. Every day, the Simpson administration team has put together a COVID-19 task force. And I have had the awesome opportunity to be a part of that and having the chance to dialogue with administration and really think about the smartest and best moves to keep our students safe and to continue to help them progress has been a great opportunity for me. I've gotten a chance to get to know the administrative team really well, and we've connected and had a lot of opportunities to talk about our concerns and how we want to keep moving forward. And I've gotten a lot of support from that group. And otherwise, if this had not happened, if we weren't in a pandemic, we would still be working in our silos. So I've really seen a lot of the administrative group from Simpson come together, and that has been an awesome opportunity. So I would say our students have had a direct impact because oftentimes the students don't typically see how political action connects with what they're doing along this journey to become a nurse. And so having them find their voices and be brave and reach out to the governor and regulatory bodies to find out what can be done to be a self-advocate has been such a powerful thing to watch transpire with the students. So I would say those are some of the silver linings that have continued to keep just that forward movement as we've decided, okay, if we can't take a left and we can't take a right, let's look under, let's look above. And I've not been alone in that process, which has been really awesome.
Yes. Wow. I love that. The task force of you guys coming together as a community. And I love how you said we'd be in our silos. We'd be running our departments. You'd all be as deans of your own departments, just kind of running, and you're making everything work. But this has really caused you to look towards the center of what do we have in common? Where's our common strength? Where can we build each other up so that we can all reach our common goal, which I think is going to make Simpson a stronger place as well. And like you said, the students feeling like they're invited to rise up and take action on their own in ways where they're adults too, and they're not just students, they're actually voting adults in this situation where they can make some progress with the legislative in California, the department, to help make sure that we have our nurses graduating on time, which is something we've been it's a real thing, right? We want our nurses to graduate on time because we need them. We need them. So
Now so more than ever.
yes, yes, now so more than ever. So I really appreciate, Misty, what you've done in this process of really communicating with not only your staff but your students in a way where you're enabling them to reach out and to find that strength to go to the next level, to become powerful and having their voice be heard. So thank you for leading the way and inviting us all into that with you. So good job with that. I want to just transition to, I know that we're in the nursing department, so we have a very much our heartbeat on what's happening in the medical community because of our direct contact with hospitals and us sending our students to the different facilities throughout the region. And I know that, I was actually able to go with Becky to one of the spots where she had students answering phone calls with, different people in the Reading community calling in with concerns of symptoms with COVID-19. So I think that it's been beautiful to see Simpson reach out further than normal, even in those ways. But I know that an underlying rumble has been just fear in general in this community. And sometimes, another person I interviewed had used the word is palpable. You can go into stores, you can go into, you're buying your necessary groceries for the week, and you can feel like the fear, around, or you see it in people's eyes, and they don't even want to look at you because maybe if you look at them, they might, pass the germ. So I just want you to speak a little bit to that and how you have in your own world, in your own life, been able to combat fear or keep it at bay. What have you been doing?
That is such a great question with things that are going on. I found that the few times I've gotten out to get groceries or things that I need to from day to day, I've made it an effort to look in people's eyes and smile. That's the universal way to I think bring camaraderie and to help ease that tension, because it is felt, it is palpable, and it is a threat, and we don't really want that threat in this county. And if we're social distancing and following those guidelines, then we're in a good place. I'll say I've had kind of a personal situation arise just in the last few days. My husband was having some symptoms that weren't quite in line with COVID-19, but some very drastic changes, and we ended up in the ED 2 times in the last 2 days, which is not really, you don't really want to go to the hospital during a pandemic. It just is kind of not really on the top 10 list. Right. But as we went through that process, as I drove away from the emergency department yesterday, he was going in because the symptoms were worsening. I drove away and my kids were in the back of the car, and I thought, my goodness, like, I know I'm not alone. My father's with me. And it was a comfort to think, gosh, I've got 2 options. I can feel like a victim and feel like I'm alone and I don't have family in the area and it's me and my kids and what are we going to do? Or I can be a survivor and I can be a role model and show my children that even in the midst of a lot of chaos and unknowns, we're completely covered. And my belief and my understanding about the way our relationship is with our Father, our stories have already been written. He's worked phenomenally throughout our lives, and it's our job and hopefully our honor to carry out our daily activities through life through prayer and having discernment and an open heart to catch on to those guidings that he gives us. So even at a time when I felt like, gosh, I'm driving away from the emergency room, I'm watching my husband leave and head into an area that I really don't want him to be. But I had a peace come over me as I was praying and thinking through that process of, we're not alone. I mean, the news can be very daunting, and we hear sad things occurring within the community, and we can allow that to take over and have that fear overcome our ability to lean on our faith. And that's really something that, especially in the last 2 days, it's really not really been a challenge, but it's been humbling to be able to go, wow, I really just need to lean back on my faith and know that it's already been written and it's out of my hands, and I just need to be prayerful and be steadfast.
Wow. Yeah, you had almost like a double test. It's not even just the fear of going to the grocery store, but you have your husband needing to enter into the ER, which, like you said, is not in our places to visit, but having that sense of, wow, like I need to let go of so much of the way that I would want it to be right now. And I need to know, like you said, I'm not alone and my Father is with me and he is watching over, and it's going to be okay. He's got us. He's got you. He's got your husband and your kids, and just and I almost hear you saying like just like resting back into that. It's not an active like a not a striving or a stress, like I just have to stay, but it's almost like a resting and letting go. And that's beautiful. And there's a lot of freedom and peace in that I'm hearing you say. So yeah, you've had a little testing of your faith in the last few days.
What I found is the more that I face, the more I realize that it's not me, that I can be a voice of authority, but if I'm being prayerful and I'm feeling out my heart and I'm using discernment, it doesn't feel like stress I need to carry, which is it's a unique place to be, but it's a healthy place to be. And I've had a few people recently that are like, I can't believe you're still upright and walking right now. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know if I have an option with that. and I need to be there are in the role I'm in and being a mom and now a homeschooling mother.
Let's add that the title list, right?
Right. We're adding lots of hats in the day and age that we're in. Yeah. And that's okay, because again, in my mind, it's been written and he's got us. He's got me, he's got you, he's got us all. And
yes, there's a real peace in knowing that. It's a real peace and resting in that. Well, I would love to hear just, as you said, you are a homeschool mom as well. You have 2 children at home that have transitioned from the school to the house, to the kitchen table. And what are you finding you're doing in your day-to-day, in your family time with your kids, and even in your own routine? Is there anything that you are, just on a real practical level, that you are finding that's bringing your own heart encouragement or bringing an atmosphere of encouragement to your personal home?
Prayer.
Yeah.
Prayer. What's been interesting is, and this is something I picked up on from a speaker at the Wonder Conference that happened this past summer. But my daughter she struggles a little bit with concepts and application. She's a 4th grader. And she was very tearful with me a few days ago and said, I just can't do it, Mom. And something that had been shared at the conference by one of the presenters was similar to this scenario. So I was able to apply some of what was discussed, and that was, well, who's making you feel like you can't do it? And that kind of ties in with fear. Like who is keeping you encompassed in this concept of fear and worry and unknown? And it's having the ability to be really level-headed with a 4th grader to say, this isn't of God. If you're feeling self-doubt and you're feeling like you can't do it, and we know you have the tools to do it, what's really making you feel fearful or making you feel like a failure before you've even tried? Yeah. And so when we've had those moments, we have a timeout and we stop and we pray. And so far, after our prayers, she's lighthearted and we get through it. And in her mind, I can see that triumph come across her face when she realizes that she really is capable. She just needs to stop for a minute. So I'm trying to help instill within my daughter how to lean on the Lord, how to pause for a minute. And when you feel that self-doubt, say a prayer and try to recognize that those negative feelings are not good. They're not healthy in a time like this. So that's one thing that's changed. The mornings start with prayer. My kiddos both have Bible memory verses through school. So they've gotten some longer Bible memory verses while we've had time at home. And so we've really had some time to dissect what those mean and look at them. And so daily scripture and a lot of prayer, even, with the car drive from Cottonwood to Reading for the emergency room, back and forth for a few days, lots of just fervent prayer and open dialogue and communion to just be at peace with things as they've come up.
Yeah, absolutely. And your husband is home now, is that correct?
He is home now. Yes.
Good. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Do you, I love that, just stopping, having that moment with our kids to stop them in the middle of maybe a downward cycle in their own minds. That's, we all have been in those, but to be able to say, hey, this isn't who you are. Like this isn't truth. And why are we agreeing with that? And what is holding you back? What is that thing? Let's stop that cycle. Do you feel like those moments at the end after you've prayed and you've worked through them, do you feel like it's bringing you closer, like your family, your relationship? Do you feel like you're getting to know your kids on a deeper level?
Yes. I feel like ironically, because I had this feeling come over me of, wow, I feel like my daughter trusts me more because I'm helping her learn how to lean on the Lord, which was a new thing for me to kind of think about, and how I use him to get through to her is giving her tools so that when she continues to grow and learn and become a Christian within our community, that she has those tools in her belt so that she can use them on her own.
Yeah. It's almost like it's a little gift, these moments with our kids, because we're doing deposits that they're going to draw from at a later time, which is wonderful. It's really wonderful. As hard as it is right now, just the worldwide situation, I think it's so good to say, well, this moment right here is actually going to pay off dividends down the road that I don't even know, really all of it right now. But that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you, Misty. I just really appreciate your leadership and the way that you have led many this last year. It does continues to stay interesting for you. And you have led with humor and tons of love and grace and strength as well. So I'm so glad that you are at Simpson, a part of the nursing department, leading the nursing department, and excited for the future and what that holds.
Same here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes. All right. Awesome.